South Africa has launched the Water Sector Anti-Corruption Forum. The forum aims to combat water sector corruption at local and national level. Let's hear more on that. I'm joined now by Advocate Mothibi, head of the SIU. Advocate Mothibi, good to have you, and thank you very much for coming on. Are South African water resources at risk?
Oh, thank you, Tabo. Thank you for giving us the opportunity really to chat to you and the public, and thanks to Newzroom. Tabo, this Water Sector and Sanitation Anti-Corruption Forum follows on 4 preceding forums that we have put together. Just quickly, the Health Sector Anti-Corruption Forum was launched by the President in 2019. Then local government followed, infrastructure build, and immigration and border management. So we've launched, we've now had the inaugural meeting of the Water Sector Anti-Corruption. Yeah. Now, why all these sectors, Tabo? The National Anti-Corruption Strategy enjoins government to really put together in place a plan to ensure that state actors and non-state actors are involved. The communities are involved. I was listening now at the tail end of the interview with the Honorable Premier of KZN.
Yes.
The concept goes on. There's a threat to ensure that we involve everyone
yes.
in the fight against corruption
right.
and the fight against crime in general.
Yeah.
But then this forum, this Water Sector Anti-Corruption Forum, which has really been welcomed by the Minister of Water and Sanitation, and also the Portfolio Committee on Water and Sanitation, which we appeared at last week or early this week.
Yes.
So what does it aim to do? The stakeholders are across the society. It includes civil society.
Right. It
includes business. It includes government.
Right.
It includes the regulators.
Yes.
It includes the water boards. So, Tabo, as your question as we started.
Yeah.
Amongst others, this forum will support the national department, will support the water boards
yes.
in coming out with a corruption risk assessment, right?
But are there vulnerabilities, I mean, from your initial meetings that you said you would have had that are looking
yes.
at this particular crisis? Are there initial vulnerabilities that you've picked up in this particular sector, and what are they?
Yeah. No, definitely. The initial vulnerabilities that have been identified by the sector. Number one, some of the participants were quite vocal in saying there's a number of water leaks in communities, in the locations, yeah. in the urban areas, and so on. So we need to identify, and some of those leaks are known, Tabo. So we just need to make sure that the actions are put in place by the municipalities, by all the regulators that are responsible to plug those leaks, because those leaks are a risk that ultimately leads to non-supply of water to the communities. The other one that we've really picked up now is infrastructure related, that either the infrastructure has not been maintained, has dilapidated, but also there's this, that's number 2. And then, of course, there should be a plan in terms of how is it that infrastructure will be sorted out. Yeah. And we are glad that now in this forum, there's members of the community, there's civil society, there's government. They will monitor the plan that we're going to put in place to ensure that all of these risks are attended to. The other one, before I forget it, it's the issue around, it sort of overlaps with the infrastructure one, the issue around the infrastructure mafia, these mafias that are disturbing the building of dams and all of that. So there we have to, of course, call on the SAPS. We know that the SAPS has got a focused approach in fighting organized crime, including this so-called mafia. Other risks is really to ensure that there are artisans that yes. are really quite trained. As SIU, we have a proclamation signed by the President where we're investigating various areas in the water sector and sanitation. Amongst others is this issue around water leaks, yes. right? There was a program around water leaks and training of artisans. We just really want to, amongst others, as we investigate those who did wrong and hold them to account, we want to make sure that we understand where did it go wrong, how many artisans were trained, how were they deployed, did they do what the objective of the artisans program was?
Yeah.
So if not, why not? And then we must pick up and make sure really that this issue of water supply and sanitation really is attended to.
Right.
Thabo.
It's a collaborative model, you're saying, that strengthens
Yes.
accountability. Now, in all the, at least you've got 14 Special Investigative Unit proclamations involving this department. You've got 8 investigations that are concluded. Let's talk about the 8 that are concluded. Is there a common thread that you're picking up? Here's why I'm asking. If you ask members of society, whether you're talking about leaks, whether you're talking about failure to maintain infrastructure, whether you're talking about investment in infrastructure or the mafia, whichever of the 4 components that you've raised, they seem to feel that there is a deliberate effort to sabotage the efforts to, for example, fix leaks, to invest in infrastructure, or even to maintain infrastructure.
It could be, and that's why we must really conduct a focused risk assessment and identify all of those possibilities of sabotage. Thabo, in that investigation one of the investigations we closed was the investigation to investigate why is it that the project to fix the pipes in Vuwani, right?
Yeah.
Why is it that was it not implemented? As you can see there's one company that actually gained the CIDB grading fraudulently, right? And they gave that company the work, of course, probably believing that they've got the capability to do the extent of that work of piping, making sure that the water runs. But guess what? Because they got the grading fraudulently, they didn't do the work. The pipes were still there at last time we checked, and the water was still not flowing, simply because the procurement process. And in the main, Thabo, our investigations really focus on the wrongdoings along procurement process. In this case of Vuwani, they would have procured somebody who couldn't do the job.
Right.
So we need to find out how is it that it happened and who do we hold to account. But then we are happy that the current ministry and the department and the Lepelle Water, they're really now sort of stepping up. The other project was the Giyani one,
yes.
as you may know.
Yeah.
It's so well known that it took long. And now at least the ministry is coming up to ensure that the water is running. But Thabo, that project ballooned so much, I think from about 90 million, but I might be talking under correction now, I don't have the documents, but I'm certain that it went over 4 billion. Right, or 4.5 billion.
No,
right?
certainly it's in the billions as far as I can remember. The scope creep.
It's so creeped, Thabo. 4.5 billion, which we are seeking to recover from these companies, has been spent, but water is not flowing.
Yes.
Thabo, so if you see some of the recommendations that we made to Parliament and to the department firstly, and we reported to the minister, we reported to Parliament. Amongst others, it's really the capability of the department, the water boards around project management.
Yes,
okay?
Yes.
And project monitoring.
Right.
Because which we found wanting, that if that part is fixed, including the checks and balances in the procurement process, we are likely to see an improvement. But of course, as I say, this forum presents us with the opportunity where members in the sector, regulators, engineers, there's quite a number of professionals that will be part of this forum.
Right.
We are going to have a collective approach
right.
to these issues, and they will really guide with their professional views the plan that we're going to put in place. Amongst others, we are going to focus at the prevention, Thabo.
Right.
As government and the National Anti-Corruption Strategy really enjoins government to come up with a prevention plan as part of preventing
Yeah.
corruption.
Advocate,
So,
I'm going to want to engage you a little bit more on that plan, but we're out of time. So I'm going to bring you back so that we
great.
can have a little bit more of a conversation on exactly that plan and how it's going to roll out. Advocate Mothibi, the head of the SIU, on the new forum for the water sector that has been put together. Right.